It is Thursday, August 25th, 2022. And so so Biden um forgives some student debt. I think up to $10,000, 20,000 if you're a married couple making less than 250,000, single person less than 125,000 a year, and I think up to 20,000 in Pell Grants, forgivable, and extended the moratorium on payments until the end of the year. And he said that's the last one. After that, payments go back. But um, the Republicans are just losing their fucking minds about student loan forgiveness. And the one thing I will say about it is, yes, yay, it's great that you're um, giving people the opportunity to get out from under this massive amounts of debt that they never should have been in to begin with. But unless you're going to solve something about the actual cost of education and higher education, it's just a cycle that's going to keep repeating. So either you decide that going forward, we're just going to give out scholarships that don't have to be repaid, or we're going to make some legislation about education caps. I don't know, but this is like a band-aid, a one-time band-aid, to try to help some people right now, but it's not helping the future generations. And boy, are the ones that that do it their own on their own real mad about it. It kind of feels like, if someone if someone said, they had to survive HIV without all of these drugs, to that are keeping people healthy and alive and living active lives and out of the hospital, and their viral load low. If they had to do it the hard way, then everybody else should too. It's like, let's not allow for progress. Let's not allow for um, you know taking the burden away from people, and the generations that come after you that you had to endure. It's like, the whole fucking fraternity and sorority hazing kind of bullshit. Um, or what goes on in like Goldman Sachs and investment banks. It's like, I had to start out in a shitty job. Everybody has to start out in a shitty job. We're gonna abuse the fuck out of you, because that's the way it's done. Bullshit. That's not the way it has to be done. Just because you let it happen doesn't mean everybody else has to let it happen. And just because um, you were able to pay off your student loans, it doesn't mean everybody else can. It also, there's a whole generational problem with what the cost of education is now versus what people make after they get out of school than there was, if we're talking about the boomer generation, or even my own generation and Gen X. But uh, and the opportunities that people had, in previous generations without a degree that don't exist anymore. Everybody requires a degree. Some asshole on Twitter was like, "What kind of job that pays less than $125,000 a year requires a bachelor's degree?" Like, millions of them do. Um, but the best part, and the only reason I'm making this post right now, is that the actual White House Twitter account, is posting all of these stupid fucking GOP talking head, maggot pieces of shit. Um, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, the whole crowd. They're all screaming about this loan forgiveness thing, and oh, isn't it great to take free money? And the liberals are just giving everything away. And Marjorie Taylor Greene got $180,000 in PPP loans forgiven. Matt Gaetz got like $480,000 in PPE loans forgiven. There's some ridiculous ones. Roger Williams in Texas, 1.4 million in PPP loan forgiven. Uh, Kevin Hearn in Oklahoma, $1 million PPP loan forgiven. Mark Wayne Mullen. Mark Wayne, by the way, is one name. It's not two. Mark Wayne. Mark Wayne Mullen in Oklahoma. Nearly $1 million forgiven. Carol Miller, whoever the fuck she is, in West Virginia, $3.1 million. Brett Guthrie in Kentucky, $4.3 million. PPP loans, our money, given to them, forgiven. What the fuck did they need it for? And what did they do with it? Like, that pisses me off a hell of a lot more than letting people, get a break on their fucking college education. Um, they're such fucking hypocrites, but I just love that it's the official White House, Twitter account that's doing it. Somehow, this administration is sort of turning things around and figuring out how to play this game in a way that the Democrats have never done before. Um, like some amazing landmark legislation, although I know it's not far enough and we want more. The things that Biden has been able to accomplish in the first year and a half is pretty fucking amazing. Um, and his poll numbers are low because people are stupid and they like to say, let's go, Brandon, and they don't even know what it means. And they don't understand that gas prices have nothing to do with Joe Biden. Um, so they blamed him when they went up, but they're certainly not going to give him credit when they're going down. Um, the economy is doing just fine. It doesn't look like we're going to hit that recession that everybody tried to make happen. And special elections and primaries are looking real good for the Democrats in November. Um, so there's reason to have hope. Um, I put up signs for my local U.S. rep, um, which I then took down after the election. I'm saving them for the general election because he won his primary, um, and we won some special elections. And like the mosquito in my eye, I have hope for November. Um, but I was talking with a friend last night. We've been texting, and it's time to get ourselves involved and make sure that we get everybody out to vote and get them to understand the importance of voting Democrats. Anyway, that's it for the evening. I haven't eaten today, so I'm gonna go try to do that.